Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back with more Southern horrors and other writings by Ida B. Wells. We are continuing the Red Record with Chapter 2, Lynch Laws. It's not too long, but Chapter 3 is quite long, so we'll only be reading Chapter 2 today. Let's hop into this. Lynch Law Statistics. From the record published in the Chicago Tribune, January 1st, 1894, the following computation of lynching statistics is made referring only to the colored victims of lynch law during the year 1893. Arson. September 15th, Paul Hill of Carrollton, Alabama. September 15th, Paul Archer of Carrollton, Alabama. September 15th, William Archer of Carrollton, Alabama. September 15th, Emma Fair of Carrollton, Alabama. Suspected robbery. December 23rd, unknown Negro, Fannin, Mississippi. Assault. December 23rd or 25th, Calvin Thomas, near Bainbridge, Georgia. Attempted assault. December 28th, Tillman Green, Columbia, Louisiana. Incendiarism. January 26th, Patrick Wells, Quincy, Florida. February 9th, Frank Harrell, Dickory, Mississippi. And February 9th, William Fielder, Dickory, Mississippi. Attempted rape. February 21st, Richard Mays, Springfield, Missouri. August 14th, Doug Hazelton, Carrollton, Georgia. September 1st, Judge McNeil, Cadiz, Kentucky. September 11th, Frank Smith, Newton, Mississippi. September 16th, William Jackson, Nevada, Missouri. September 19th, Riley Gully, Pineapple, Alabama. October 9th, John Davis, Shorterville, Alabama. And November 8th, Robert Kennedy, Spartansburg, South Carolina. Burglary. February 16th, Richard Foreman, Grenada, Mississippi. Wife beating. October 14th, David Jackson, Covington, Louisiana. Attempted murder. September 21st, Thomas Smith, Roanoke, Virginia. Attempted robbery. December 12th, 4 unknown Negroes near Selma, Alabama. Race prejudice. January 30th, Thomas Carr, Kosciusko, Mississippi. February 7th, William Butler, Hickory Creek, Texas. August 27th, Charles Tart, Lyons Station, Mississippi. December 7th, Robert Greenwood, Cross County, Arkansas. July 14th, Alan Butler, Lawrenceville, Illinois. Thieves, October 24th, 2 unknown Negro, Knox Point, Louisiana. Alleged barn burning, November 4th, Edward Wagner of Lynchburg, Virginia. November 4th, William Wagner of Lynchburg, Virginia. November 4th, Samuel Motlow of Lynchburg, Virginia. November 4th, Eliza Motlow of Lynchburg, Virginia. Alleged murder, January 21st, Robert Landry, St. James Parish, Louisiana. January 21st, Chicken George, St. James Parish, Louisiana. January 21st, Richard Davis, St. James Parish, Louisiana. December 8th, Benjamin Minter, Berlin, Alabama. December 8th, Robert Wilkins, Berlin, Alabama. December 8th, Joseph Gevins, Berlin, Alabama. Alleged complicity in murder, September 16th, Balzan Julian, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. September 16th, Basil Julian, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. September 16th, Paul Julian, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. September 16th, John Willis, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. Murder, June the 29th, Samuel Thorpe, Savannah, Georgia. June 29th, George S. Reichen, Waynesboro, Georgia. June 30th, Joseph Byrd, Wilburton, Indian Territory. July 1st, James Lamar, Darien, Georgia. July the 28th, Henry Miller, Dallas, Texas. July 28th, Ada Hires, Walterboro, South Carolina. July 28th, Alexander Brown, Bastrop, Texas. July 30th, W.G. Jameson, Quincy, Illinois. September 1st, John Ferguson, Lawrence, South Carolina. September 1st, Oscar Johnston, Berkeley, South Carolina. September 1st, Henry Ewing, Berkeley, South Carolina. September 8th, William Smith, Camden, Arkansas. September 15th, Staples Green, Livingston, Alabama. September 29th, Hiram Jacobs, Mount Vernon, Georgia. September 29th, Lucien Monet, Mount Vernon, Georgia. September 29th, Hire Bevington, Mount Vernon, Georgia. September 29th, Weldon Gordon, Mount Vernon, Georgia. September 29th, Parse Strickland, Mount Vernon, Georgia. October 20th, William Dalton, Cartersville, Georgia. October 27th, M.B. Taylor, Wise Courthouse, Virginia. October 27th, Isaac Williams, Madison, Georgia. November 10th, Miller Davis, Center Point, Arkansas. November 14th, John Johnston, Auburn, New York. September 27th, Calvin Stewart, Langley, South Carolina. September 29th, Henry Coleman, Benton, Louisiana. October 18th, William Richards, Summerfield, Georgia. October 18th, James Dixon, Summerfield, Georgia. October 27th, Edward Jenkins, Clayton County, Georgia. November the 9th, Henry Boggs, Fort White, Florida. November 14th, 3 unknown Negroes in Lake City Junction, Florida. November 14th, D.T. Nelson, Barney, Arkansas. November 29th, Newton Jones, Baxley, Georgia. And December 2nd, Lucius Holt, Concord, Georgia. December 10th, 2 unknown Negroes, Richmond, Alabama. July 12th, Henry Fleming, Columbus, Missouri. July 17th, unknown Negro, Briarfield, Alabama. July 18th, Meredith Lewis, Roseland, Louisiana. July 29th, Edward Bill, Dresden, Tennessee. August 1st, Henry Reynolds, Montgomery, Tennessee. August 9th, unknown Negro, McCreary, Arkansas. August 12th, unknown Negro, Brantford, Florida. August 18th, Charles Walton, Morganfield, Kentucky. August 21st, Charles Tate, near Memphis, Tennessee. August 28th, Leonard Taylor, Newcastle, Kentucky. September 8th, Benjamin Jackson, Quincy, Mississippi. September 4th, John Williams, Jackson, Tennessee. Self-defense. July 30th, unknown Negro, Wingo, Kentucky. Poisoning wells. Being accused of poisoning wells. August 18th, 2 unknown Negroes, Franklin Parish, Louisiana. Alleged well poisoning. So apparently the one before they have evidence of a sort. Alleged well poisoning, September 15th, Benjamin Jackson, Jackson, Mississippi. September 15th, Mahala Jackson, Jackson, Mississippi. September 15th, Louisa Carter, Jackson, Mississippi. September 15th, W.A. Haley, Jackson, Mississippi. And September 15th, Rufus Bigley, Jackson, Mississippi. Insulting whites. February 18th, John Hughes, Moberly, Missouri. June 2nd, Isaac Lincoln, Fort Madison, South Carolina. Murderous assault April 20th, Daniel Adams, Salina, Kansas. No offense. July the 21st, Charles Martin, Shelby County, Tennessee. July 30th, William Steen, Paris, Mississippi. August 31st, unknown Negro, Yarborough, Texas. September 30th, unknown Negro, Houston, Texas. And December 28th, Mac Seggers, Brantley, Alabama. Alleged rape. July the 7th, Charles T. Miller of Bardwell, Kentucky. August 10th, Daniel Lewis of Waycross, Georgia. August 10th, James Taylor of Waycross, Georgia. August 10th, John Chambers of Waycross, Georgia. Alleged livestock poisoning. December 16th, Henry G. Gibbons, Nebro, Kentucky. Suspected murder. December 23rd, Sloan Allen, West Mississippi. Suspicion of rape. February 14th, Andy Blount, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Turning state's evidence. December 19th, William Ferguson, Adele, Georgia. Or Adelaide, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Rape. January 19th, James Williams, Pickens County, Alabama. February 11th, unknown Negro, Forest Hill, Tennessee. February 26th, Joseph Hayne, or Payne, of Jellicoe, Tennessee. November 1st, Abner Anthony of Hot Springs, Virginia. November 1st, Thomas Hill of Spring Place, Georgia. April 24th, John Peterson, Denmark, South Carolina. May the 6th, Samuel Gellard, South Carolina. May 10th, Haywood Banks, or Marksdale, from Columbia, South Carolina. May the 12th, Israel Holloway of Napoleonville, Louisiana. May the 12th, unknown Negro, Wytheville, Virginia. May the 31st, John Wallace, Jefferson Springs, Arkansas. June 3rd, Samuel Bush, Decatur, Illinois. June 8th, Elsie DeMoss, Gleason, Tennessee. June 13th, William Shorter, Winchester, Virginia. June 14th, George Williams, near Waco, Texas. June 24th, Daniel Edwards, Selena or Selma, Alabama. June 27th, Ernest Murphy, Delville, Alabama. July 6th, unknown Negro, Poplar Head, Louisiana. July 6th, unknown Negro, Poplar Head, Louisiana. July 12th, Robert Larkin, Osceola, Texas. July 17th, Warren Dean of Stone Creek, Georgia. July 21st, unknown Negro, Brantford, Florida. July 17th, John Cotton, Connorsville, Arkansas. July 22nd, Lee Walker, New Albany, Mississippi. July 26th, Handy from Swansea, South Carolina. July 30th, William Thompson, Columbia, South Carolina. July 28th, Isaac Harper, Calera, Alabama. July 30th, Thomas Preston, Columbia, South Carolina. July 30th, Handy Kegler, Columbia, South Carolina. August 13th, Monroe Smith, Springfield, Alabama. August 19th, Negro Tramp, near Paducah, Kentucky. August 21st, John Nielsen, near Leavenworth, Kansas. August 23rd, Jacob Davis Greenwood, South Carolina. September 2nd, William Arkinson from McKinney, Kentucky. September 16th, unknown Negro in Centerville, Alabama. September 16th, Jesse Mitchell in Amelia, CH, Virginia. September 25th, Perry Bratcher from New Boston, Texas. August 9th, William Lacey from Jasper, Alabama. And October 22nd, John Gamble in Pikesville, Tennessee. Offenses charged are as follows: rape, 39. Attempted rape, 8. Alleged rape, 4. Suspicion of rape, 1. Murder, 44. Alleged murder, 6. Alleged complicity in murder, 4. Murderous assault, 1. Attempted murder, 1. Attempted robbery, 4. Arson, 4. Incendiarism, 3. Alleged stock poisoning, 1. Poisoning wells, 2. Alleged poisoning wells, 5. Burglary, 1. Wife beating, 1. Self-defense, 1. Suspected robbery, 1. Assault and battery, 1. Insulting whites, 2. Malpractice, 1. Alleged barn burning, 4. Stealing, 2. Unknown offense, 4. No offense, 1. Race prejudice, 4. For a total of 159. Lynchings by state, the most egregious by and far. Alabama, 25. Arkansas was 7. Florida was 7. Georgia with 24. Indian Territory with 1. Illinois with 3. Kansas with 2. Kentucky with 8. Louisiana with 18. Mississippi with 17. Missouri with 3. New York with 1. South Carolina with 15. Tennessee with 10. Texas with 8. And Virginia with 10. Record for the year 1892. While it is intended that the record here presented shall include especially the lynchings of 1893, it will not be amiss to give the record the year preceding. The facts contended for will always appear manifest that not 1/3 of the victims lynched were charged with rape, and further that the charges made embraced a range of offenses from murder to misdemeanors. In 1892, there were 241 persons lynched. The entire number is divided among the following states: Alabama, 22, Arkansas, 25, California, 3, Florida, 11, Georgia, 17, Idaho, 8, Illinois, 1, Kansas, 3, Kentucky, 9, Louisiana, 29, Maryland, 1, Mississippi, 16, Missouri, 6, Montana, 4, New York, 1, North Carolina, 5, North Dakota, 1, Ohio, 3, South Carolina, 5, Tennessee, 28, Texas, 15, Virginia, 7, West Virginia, 5, Wyoming, 9, Arizona Territory, 3, and Oklahoma, 2. Of this number, 160 were of Negro descent. 4 of them were lynched in New York, Ohio, and Kansas. The remainder were murdered in the South. 5 of this number were females. The charges for which they were lynched cover a wide range. They are as followed: rape, 46, murder, 58, rioting, 3, race prejudice, 6, no cause given, 4, incendiarism, 6, robbery, 6, assault and battery, 1, attempted rape, 11, suspected robbery, 4, larceny, 1, self-defense, 1, insulting women, 2, desperados, 6, fraud, 1, attempted murder, 2, no offense stated, boy and girl, 2. In the case of the boy and girl above referred to, their father, named Hastings, was accused of the murder of a white man. His 14-year-old daughter and 16-year-old son were hanged and their bodies filled with bullets. Then the father was also lynched. This was in November 1892 at Jonesville, Louisiana. But that ends that reading. Now, let's talk about this a bit. As you can see, it wasn't just South. It was majority South, by and far. But there were lynchings all over the U.S. The hatred, the racism was everywhere. And I also want to say, I added a little bit because I was getting a bit angry with reading this. Just add all the names. All the accusations. And these were 1893. And then they give a quick synopsis of 1892 as well later, without listing each individual. But this was published by the Chicago Tribune and it only mentions the colored victims of lynch law. This doesn't mean no whites weren't lynched for helping or being involved. But we want to focus and verify how much worse individuals of color had it. Because they did. They had it much worse. And there was a few that echoed to me from the 1893 lynchings. Attempted murder. See, they can't say he actually did any murder. He attempted it, is all they can say. Thomas Smith on September 21st was lynched in Roanoke, Virginia. Roanoke, Virginia isn't close, but it's close enough that it's just a couple hours down the road a ways. So that hits a little close. And not much further is Lynchburg, Virginia. Right here. Alleged barn burning. There were a number of individuals that were accused of it. 1, 2, 3, 4 individuals accused in Lynchburg and lynched for allegations that they were going to burn a barn or trying to burn a barn. In Lynchburg, like I said, it's not too much further down the road from Roanoke. So again, it hits a little deep. And then there was one that really stung because it was right in my home county in Virginia here. Where was that? Um, Well, if I can find it now, I've got to read through all this. I don't think it was there. There it is. On October the 27th, Wise Courthouse, Virginia, which of course is the courthouse in Wise County, Virginia, in the town of Wise. M.B. Taylor. I'm going to have to look that up. That's got me intrigued now. I can't look it up because my internet's being a little ass. But anyway, the name sounds familiar. But yeah. But if anything, yeah. And for those who are curious, Wise is just the next town over. So for me, it hits deep because I live in Wise County. Not in Wise itself, but Wise is just a town over, so. Yeah. But as I was saying, it kind of shows how much is how prevalent this hatred, lynching, and everything it was. So many people just being lynched. It's just, yeah. It shouldn't be a thing, but yet here we are. And it's something we even have to reckon with to this day. Because it wasn't that long ago, 1950s, 1960s. These things were still happening. That's when the civil rights battles finally took down a lot of the evil. Because you have the Civil Rights Acts, you have the Civil Rights Marches. But again, Ida Wells, she's talking about the 1890s. This is 60 to 70 years beforehand. And another, we saw different ones, no offense, insulting white people. Some of the stupidest shit. But it was an excuse for them to perform these acts of hate. It astounds me how often these things work. Alabama, of all states, was probably the most egregious when it comes to these acts. 1892, 22 people lynched. 1893, 25 people lynched. There was quite a few in Louisiana, because in 1892, 29, though it dropped quite a bit in 1893 to 18. Still a lot of people. Lives that should never have been taken. Now, self-defense. Someone trying to fight back and protect themselves. You can't do that. We're lynching you. Think about this. We have the right to do whatever the fuck we want with you. That when they try to protect themselves, to defend themselves, nope, you're getting lynched. You can't do that. Turning state's evidence. People who saw the truth and were like, yeah, I'm going to speak out. No, you don't do that. We are white. What we do should always be excused. You're just not even quite human. That's how it was seen. Let's see some of these other. Tennessee, 1892, had 28 lynchings, though it dropped in 1893 to 10. Mississippi in 1892 it had 16. In 1893 it actually went up to 17. Arkansas in 1892, 25. 1893, 7. So it dropped quite a bit. But 7 still too many lives. 1 is too many lives. And finally, let's speak on this about the fact that so many of them, quite a few, unnamed Negro. We don't know who they are. Lives taken, and yet we can't even identify who they were. I'm just... How did people think this was okay? How did people assume, no big deal? They're not even people. I mean, I understand that, but it's still, it don't feel right. As it shouldn't, because we understand now what was wrong. Although some people have pressed their racist shit xenophobia to the surface as if, no, we need to be racist assholes again. No. Fuck you. Fascist, racist, fuck all those fuckers. Anyway, we'll go ahead and end this episode here. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Somebody tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.